Hello and welcome to Wednesday. Yesterday, my E3 coverage started with a live react, please don't sue me, Fine Brothers, video of what I thought about the Microsoft conference. Today, that continues. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at the Sony conference. So, I'm actually really excited about this. Sorry, Microsoft, I'm a little more excited about this one than I was excited about yours. And I don't know what to expect, but I'm excited. It's going to be about 2 hours. Let's get started watching this thing, shall we? Oh god, we're starting outside. We're starting outside and not inside, and that's usually bad because it means that these people who I generally hate will talk for a while. Okay, hold on, the big press conference is 30 minutes away. I think I'm going to fast forward. Alright, I jumped forward because honestly, there's no way I could stand more than 2 minutes of those people talking. So let's go to the actual press conference, which is apparently being performed in opera format. Not really sure why it's taking place here. Maybe it was the only area that was large enough to hold everything. Actually, no, wait, they have an orchestra. We're aware that you're here for the Sony press conference, but actually we're going to be giving a presentation of Hamilton today. This is really beautiful, and like the music is good. I just have no idea what the crap is happening. I'm sitting here trying to connect it to Sony properties, and it kind of has a God of War feel. And I don't know where they are in the timeline of God of War games, but maybe it's time to release a God of War, and this is their way of doing it. This has been going on for like 4 minutes. I mean, it's really cool. Like, there's a big build-up. There's a really big build-up. Okay, so they just finished with that song, that orchestrated piece, and it's moving right into a trailer.
Boy!
Is that the voice of Kratos? I haven't ever played the first God of War, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's the voice of Kratos.
I am hungry.
Oh man, the crowd's going nuts. So it is a new God of War. I wonder what like number they're on. There isn't a God of War 4 yet, so this might be God of War 4. And if it is, that's kind of funny because Microsoft's thing they were showing off was Gears of War 4. And then in Sony's, they're doing God of War 4. There's a lot of 4s. 4s are very popular this year. Kratos is a very strict father. Borderline abusive? Maybe. I'm gonna be honest, watching this makes me want to play God of War 2 and continue the story. I actually really enjoyed the first God of War, and I just never got back around to doing it because God of War 2 has like... Well, God of War 1 even had like a lot of nudity that I tried to edit out for YouTube, and it was a huge pain. Maybe I could actually go through with doing God of War 2. This is good. Like, this is really good. Like I said, this makes me want to play God of War 2. I am I'm impressed. I mean, I've only played the first God of War, but it's actually really interesting to see Kratos as more of a mentor figure also, because from what I remember of the first one, it was a little different. He was just kind of like a crazed lunatic killing everything. Apparently it's being called God of War. The last line was a new beginning, so I guess they're doing the thing where they just ditch the numbers. So I guess it's just God of War. I wonder if developers are just realizing that they probably make more money when there's not a number next to it. Because when I was watching it, my first thought was, oh, I need to play God of War 2. And they take away the numbers, then I'm like, oh, it's probably fine. I gotta say, right out of the gate, I'm enjoying the Sony conference a little more than I did the Microsoft one. Which sounds bad, because I had said that I was more interested in it. But the tone of the conference is completely different. Like, there's a guy on stage, dressed nicely in a suit, talking about... what this event is going to entail. The orchestra is actually going to... They played along with God of War, and they're going to be playing along with other stuff throughout the evening, or day, or whenever this took place. And Microsoft's was very different, because it was like hip, cool, flashy lights, and this is completely different, and preferred. It's not objectively better, but subjectively, I think I enjoy it more. Maybe it's because I watched the State of Decay 2 trailer yesterday on the Microsoft conference, but whatever this is, just reminds me of State of Decay 2. This is turning into something very weird, but also unique. Some kind of like post-apocalyptic motorcycle game? Very interesting. Days Gone. It has a name. Interesting. Although I'm always a little wary of new IPs announced because of the whole, what was the game called, like Brotherhood 1849 or something, and it turned out to be like really bad. But this could be good. This has got to be The Last Guardian. The reason I say that is because it looks like Shadow of the Colossus and Eco, and also The Last Guardian. I get chills every time they show stuff about this. I actually I was at E3 last year, decided not to go this year, but last year I went and got to sit through a live demo of someone playing through part of Last Guardian. It was really interesting. I can't believe this game is like still in development, still coming out someday. How many years has it been? Like 10? It's probably been like 10. Holy crap. Okay. There is a release date. October. Oh my god. Seriously, I think it's been like 10 years. Also, I really need to LP Eco soon. I remember this game. They showed off this game at E3 last year. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like you're a cave person, a caveman, but all the dinosaurs are like robots or something. Something like that. The concept of this game was interesting a year ago and is still interesting now. Like, this person, you're collecting components for various stuff. The idea is interesting, but like, it's not interesting to me. Like, the idea seems cool, but it just doesn't strike me like as something I would want to play. They spent a lot of time showing this off last year, and they're spending an even longer amount of time showing it off this year, so I assume that this is, supposed to be like a really big thing. And I mean, the more I see of it, the cooler it is, and I really like the idea. Especially, there was a part where they took one of the, they call them corrupted, one of the corrupted animals, and like reprogrammed it so they could ride it, which is really neat. Still not interested in playing it, but still, it looks cool. Horizon, that's what it's called. Horizon Zero Dawn. Did they announce that that's exclusive to PS4? Maybe it's exclusive. I don't know. I'm not sure. This next game that they're showing off is interesting. Good and Bad Androids. Oh, it's a crime game. Like, you have to analyze stuff. I haven't played it, but it reminds me of, from what I know of, it reminds me of, what's that Rockstar game? I don't remember it. The Rockstar game where, like, you drive... L.A. Noire. That's it. Detroit. Become Human. Honestly, it seemed really interesting because there were so many choices, and they had apparently a great deal of impact. There was multiple ways to get through certain things. Definitely interesting. Next up, it looks like we have some sort of horror game, and it started by saying full PlayStation VR experience. Certainly makes it that much more horrifying. Whatever it is, it looks good. That said, I would be extremely concerned if I woke up in the attic of a creepy house. Like, this person is not making a beeline for the door like I would, because I think I'd be out of there. This is some serious PT stuff. Like, this is good. Like, in terms of horror, it's very good. You don't have to have, crazy jump scares or whatever to make a horror game. All you really need is the right environment, and this is set up very good. Resident Evil 7? What? Holy crap. That's pretty drastic, though. Resident Evil's always been a third-person shooter, and it's now a first-person VR game? Man. I think it looks awesome. I think it's super, very much like PT, but I can't help but wonder if it's going to piss off lots of hardcore fans. So they are officially announcing PlayStation VR, October 2016, at the much-rumored price tag of $399. And honestly, it'll probably do amazing. Really. Because I think it's the cheapest VR experience by several $100s. Oh man, there's going to be a PlayStation VR Star Wars game. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. I mean, I'm not even like a huge Star Wars guy, but I know that that's going to make a lot of people very happy. Batman Arkham VR, but no gameplay footage. Gameplay footage? Gameplay footage? No gameplay footage. Okay. Chocobo! So we got to see some Final Fantasy 15 yesterday, but this one, I like this one better. I enjoyed Microsoft's though, I really did, showing off like the big Colossus battle, but I would rather see Chocobos and cars. Let's be honest, just make a Chocobo and car game. Also, watching this just makes me say, holy crap, Final Fantasy is so different. Like, it is evolved so much. Apparently, the Final Fantasy 15 is gonna support PlayStation VR, which seems like a weird choice, but okay. Next up, some sort of space shooter, but to be honest, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's hard to follow. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really interested in the space flight stuff, but there was a lot of actual on-foot, in space combat, and that looked cool. Like being able to jump around and float through. You had like a hand grapple that you could use to grab on. I don't know what game this is. Really? Really? That was Call of Duty? What? I don't really care about the ship driving parts, but the actual shooting parts in space with like no gravity and stuff was sweet. It looked really cool. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, which I had heard about was going to be released with Infinite Warfare. That's actually the last Call of Duty game I played, was the first Modern Warfare. Wow, interesting. Crash Bandicoot 1 through... Is it 3? He said 1, 2, and Warped, which I assume is 1 through 3. Is being completely remastered from the ground up for PS4. Huh, interesting. And also Crash Bandicoot is going to be in Skylanders, because why not? Oh, snap. So Andrew House came out and was like, we want to recognize one of industry's most important leaders, and it's Hideo Kojima. Which is amazing. There's so many levels of drama that have been, around Kojima and Konami, PT, Silent Hills being canceled, Metal Gear Solid, all of this multi-layered lasagna of controversy. Kojima is honestly at this point like a martyr, and the crowd is eating this up. Kojima presents lots and lots of dead crabs. Norman Reedus! Holy crap! Also, everything else is weird, but Kojima wanted to work with him for PT, so it looks like they're getting a chance to work together regardless. This is all fascinating. This is all very, very fascinating. This is extremely weird. It's very cool, but extremely weird. Death Stranding. We couldn't do PT, so we made Death Stranding. There's gonna be lots and lots of dead fish. I'm not much for superhero movies or comics or even video games, but I've played a few Spider-Man games and I've always really enjoyed them. So the fact that there's a new Spider-Man game is actually kind of interesting to me. Like, the mechanics of being able to swing around the city and stuff have always been so much fun. So I would be willing to check out the new Spider-Man game, sure. So now we're going back to Days Gone, which was the motorcycle post-apocalyptic game, and they're going to do a live demo, which is cool because it looked interesting. I'd like to see more of it. I wasn't really sure how this was post-apocalyptic, like what the scenario was, but there was like some crazy child. Yeah, I don't know what the... Like a little mutant boy or something? Interesting. So it does seem to be a zombie game. Which is fine. But, like, it's weird because on one hand, I feel like we've had so much zombie media in the, like the last 10 to 15 years that it's so totally oversaturated. But at the same time, I continue to find it compelling and interesting. So, I don't know if everyone feels the same as I do, but that's kind of how I feel. Red Barrel, baby! Red Barrel! Red barrels always mean explosions. It's just the rule. I don't even know why you're bothering shooting them. There's like 100 million guys coming in. Like, I don't think there's an end to the line. Is there an end? Okay, there's an end to the line. There's a finite number, I think. Keep shooting, maybe you'll get lucky. Man, I really like the fast-moving hordes of zombie type thing, where you don't have to like shoot them in the head. It's just shoot, kind of like Left 4 Dead. And that's a little of what that reminded me of. And that was it. Is that it? Is that all of it? Yeah. And it's just going over some of the things that are in development. Neat. Okay, so I know I said it early on. I continued to feel it the entire time. I enjoyed the Sony one a lot more. And some of it, I mean, a good portion of it had to do with the fact that I just preferred... Oh, God, we're coming back to the... No, we're not giving you a chance to speak. A lot of it came down to the fact that the stuff they showed was just more interesting to me. I'm not going to go out and say that the stuff in this conference, like the games, were objectively better than the Microsoft, because it's all subjective. And someone may have seen the Microsoft one and said, those games look sweet, and then watch this conference and said, I don't want to play those. And that's totally cool. That is totally okay. But I feel like the games spoke to me a little bit more in the Sony conference. Also, such a different tone. Like, it was really the difference between classy and flashy. Really, because the Sony conference was really classy. It was extremely classy, and I preferred that a lot. It's not that one is better than the other, but between the two, I would rather see another press conference like Sony did. So, yeah, between the two, I'd say that I preferred Sony's a little bit more. Also, some really good-looking stuff. And some interesting stuff, and it makes me happy to play games. Both conferences did. Anyway, that's actually going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow, I will be watching the Nintendo conference. I'll be watching the Nintendo conference, which I think is a little bit shorter, and going over what I think. I don't know what they're going to reveal. I know that they're probably going to be talking about Zelda, because Zelda's like the big thing to talk about right now and talk about this year. Mother 3? Maybe not, but that would be nice, wouldn't it, if we got to see Mother 3? Otherwise, yeah, that's it for today. Talk about your thoughts on the Sony conference down below, and I look forward to reading, what you guys thought of it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?